Chaotic Sorceress, ZTC.
Greetings, duelists! Chaotic Sorceress ZTC here, and welcome to yet another Telethon FTK. As always, I'll go through the deck profile and then through a practice duel, and then the wrap-up. So, first we should go through the card by card. First up, this is a Clock Dragon FTK. I've been fixing it up a bit since I've learned a bit more about Telethon FTKs and how they work, and I kinda fixed it up a bit, gave it a bit more pizzazz, I guess. So, well, let's get into it, card by card. First up, Turbo Booster at 3, Hackworm at 1, Telethon at 3, Gizmek Naganaki at 3, Assault Synchron at 1, Scrap Recycler at 2, Speedroid Terratop at 2, Gadget Gamer at 3, Codebreaker Zero Day at 1, Awakening of the Possessed Nefarious or Archfiend at 2, Gadget Hauler at 1, Diesel Blaster the Negation Fortress at 2, Monster Reborn at 1, Foolish Burial at 1, Machine Dupe at 3, 1 for 1 at 1, Perform Pal Popper Up at 1, Small World at 3, Morphtron Converter at 3, Dimension Dice at 2, Dice Dungeon at 3, and Dice at 1. Whew. And that's the main deck. On to the extra deck. First up, we have Cyber's Clock Dragon, Muddy Mud Dragon, Mind Castlin, number 78 Number Archive, number 33 Chronomaly Machu Mech, Link Karibo, 2 Relinquished Anima, Clockwork Knight, Clock Lizard, Shinobi Insect, whatever that other part is, I'm not pronouncing that, Proxy F Magician, Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, Geonator Transverser, and Codebreaker Virus Berserker. Now, someone who has already watched the other FTKs would know the basis of what the extra deck is the main deck is all about, but just to give you a quick rundown, we've got Morphtron Converter, Gadget Gamer, and Gizmek Naganaki as our starters for the most part. Gizmek Naganaki and Gadget Gamer both tribute themselves, allowing you to special summon Telethon. Gadget Gamer allows you to add Telethon to hand in order to special summon it, so it's a pretty good way to get yourself ashed. So, that's not too fun. Scrap Recycler can also be a starter. It only sends a Telethon from deck to graveyard, so it's a bit iffy. Then we've got our special summoners, Turbo Booster, Hackworm, Assault Synchron, Speedroid Terratop, and our Diesel Blasters. Diesel Blasters negate all cards in column, so make sure you're not placing your spells where your Diesel Blaster is. The reason we have our special summoners are we have a lot of these into our second Telethon effects that could be used if we have 2 of them in order to get to Telethon if we've somehow either not drawn a Gadget Gamer, Naganaki, or Telethon, and we need a way into them, or one of our Gadget Gamers or Naganakis are negated after they've been tributed, such as getting ashed. So, on to Gadget Hauler. If you have Gadget Gamer and a Telethon in hand already, you can Gadget Gamer, add a Telethon, and then tribute itself, summon out Telethon and Gadget Hauler. Gadget Hauler allows you to send the Telethon in hand to grave, and then you can start up your combo. We've got a Monster Reborn to bring back a Telethon if you are a bit iffy. We've got Perform Pal Popper Up, which allows you to send up to 3 cards from your hand to the grave, draw that many cards, then you can special summon blah 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 up to that many monsters with from your hand with different names that are Perform Pal, Magician, Pendulum monsters, and or Odd Eyes monsters, each with a level blah blah blah. It doesn't really matter. If you did not special summon by this effect, you lose 1,000 life points for each card in your hand. It doesn't really matter. This is basically just a way to, if you have a dead hand, just reset it. So there's that. We've got Small World, which allows us to switch into any of our monsters, since I believe Hackworm and Disa Blaster work as good swap-ins. Somewhat. Because you could go Gizmek Naganaki into either Turbo Booster or Hackworm. I think... Oh, no. Gizmek Naganaki into Hackworm into Gadget Gamer. Or Naganaki Hackworm into... actually, that doesn't really work. Well, technically Scrap Recycler, but eh. You could go Gadget Gamer into Hackworm into Morphtronic Telephone. You could go, Gadget Gamer, Disa Blaster, Naganaki, or into Telephone. It's a whole mess. But now, basically, we're going to go on to the ways you get into more Telephones, I guess. First up, Foolish Burial. If you already have a Telephone on field, you can use this to send a Telephone to grave in order to get that combo running. If you have a Telephone on field, Machine Dupe allows you to bring out another Telephone from deck. If you have a Telephone in hand, you can 1-for-1 that Telephone away and bring out another Telephone. Or if you already have a Telephone on field or another way into Telephone in hand, you can use this to send a monster in your hand to the grave to bring out another Telephone. Morphtronic Converter allows you to target one machine monster you control. Apply the following effect. If in attack position, special one Telephone and shuffle that card back into the deck. If in defense position, change it to attack position and special summon one level 4 or lower machine monster from your hand, which is probably going to be Telephone. I guess technically it could be Gizmek Naganaki or Gadget Gamer. Or even Scrap Recycler, if you figure out a way to do that, but I wouldn't trust it. This is also something you should do if you have Assault Synchron, because Assault Synchron, after it's special summoned, makes it so you're locked into Synchros. But as long as you have either Converter or, did I mention Dice, which is our next one, which allows you to tribute one monster, special summon one monster with an effect that requires a die roll from your hand or deck. Granted, you're going to need a die roll effect on field first, so Dice Dungeon is a really good answer for this if you don't already have a Telephone on field, since it allows you to add one-dimension dice from your deck to your hand, and it has a dice roll effect. Next up, we have Dice Dice, which it allows you to roll a 6-sided die, 1 or a 6. You can add a card with a die rolling effect to your hand. And if you roll something else, you have to roll the dice again, 1 or 6, return this card to their hand. Otherwise, place this card on the top of the deck. It's just there to even out the deck. We've got our Awakening of the Possessed, Nefarious or Archfiends. As always, you can relinquish Anima and then Telephone into your Awakening of the Possessed to get into a leveled monster without getting ashed. Which is nice. Next up, onto the extra deck, basically. Cyber's Clock Dragon is the basis of this deck. When it is link summoned, you can send cards up to the amount of banished... the link rating of all the cards banished for... or all the cards used for this monster's summon. And it gains 1,000 attack for each card sent to the graveyard. Muddy Mud Dragon is how we're going to fuse into it, taking place of Clock Wyvern. Mind Castlin is a monster that allows us to swap the positions of a monster on our opponent's field and our field, which is one of the ways to swap Clock Dragon to our opponent's side of the field. The other being Geoneo Transverser. Granted, Transverser requires specific slots, so that's a bit wonky sometimes. if you somehow get this going on your second turn, which usually you want to go first. But that's besides the point. We've got number 78, which allows us to summon out Chronomaly once we've gone through everything. And Chronomaly allows us to select one monster our opponent controls and inflict damage equal to the difference between its original attack and current attack. That's why Clock Dragon is basically a redacted. Well, not exactly, but, you know, an explosion on our opponent's turn. Link Karibo to basically pop or get rid of a imperm and such. Get that online by summoning our Shinobi Insect. Then we can Clockwork Knight, I believe. Yes, Clockwork Knight into our Codebreaker Virus Swordsman to bring out Codebreaker Zero Day. If that gets ashed, we just bring out Virus Berserker, and that will allow us to summon Virus Swordsman. As you can see, there's a lot of things that are basically countermeasures. If one gets stopped, you can get a second one. Clock Lizard, it allows itself to be, has an effect that allows itself to tribute, that allows you to tribute this card for turn 1 fusion monster from the graveyard to the extra deck, then fusion summon that fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your graveyard. This is basically how we get into the A Million Attack Cyber's Clock Dragon. If I remember correctly, Proxy F Magician can take the place of Muddy Mud Dragon's ability to fuse in a rare case. So that's another way we cover our bases. Basically, the two bases we have covered is the fusion area, or actually 3. We've got the fusion area, getting a monster on our opponent's field, and swapping those monsters. That's why we have Codebreaker Zero Day in our deck. I think that's everything I needed to talk about. Pretty sure we can now go on to the practice duel. I'll see you there. Alright, practice duel. Let's see what we got. Only one of these since it's an FTK, and we don't need a going second. So we're going first. We draw Diesel Blaster, Performapal Popper-Up, Small World, and Dice Dungeon. Not a perfect hand, but we'll make it do. We'll make it work. Small World, our Diesel Blaster into Terratop, into Telephon. Dice Dungeon effect, adding Dimension Dice. Telephon effect, see if we're going to get impermed. We're not. Dimension Dice, bring out our second Telephon. Telephon effect, bring back Telephon. Telephon for Link Karibo. Telephon effect. Bring back Telephon. Link away Telephon and Link Karibo for our Shinobi Insect. Telephon for Telephon effect. Bring out our Relinquished Anima. Very important that we do these first, because it's going to be a pain in our rear end if we don't bring out our Archfiends first. Because it's a bit of a pain to bring them out later. Relinquished Anima again. Into our second Archfiend. Telephon for Telephon. Synchro off for Muddy Mud Dragon. Telephon for Telephon. Bring out Mind Castlin, which I should say, when it's sent to the graveyard, that's when its effect to swap monsters goes off. So that's why we need to keep it on field at the start. Anyway, we're going into Clockwork Knight. Telephone for telephone. Going into Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. Which brings out 0 Day from deck. Telephone for telephone. Bring out Virus Berserker. Because we have to get through all of the monsters. None of them can be left in deck. Telephone and Insect for Proxy F Magician. Proxy F Magician effect. Technically, you could just do it with Muddy Mud Dragon's effect into Cyber's Clock Dragon. Link both of these away for Clock Lizard. They need to, Cyber's monsters. Tribute itself. Banish a lot of monsters, leaving one Cybers in grave. So, on Fusion Summon, on Banish, Clock Lizard. I think if I saw like the original, it's like to block something. I never really understood. Telephone for telephone. Link Summon with Mind Castling and Telephone into Geonator Transverser, Mind Castle in effect, swap the two. Telephone for telephone. Now you can see all of this. We're going to XE summon number archive in the Geonator Transverser area. Activate its effect into Machumek in the same area, so it cannot be destroyed. Use its effect, 4 burn, 4 game. And that's that. On to the wrap-up. See you there. Alright, wrap-up time. Now, what do I think of the deck? This one's pretty nice. It's been pretty patched up. There were a lot of... I feel like there were at least a couple holes in this deck that could have been poked into in the past. But now that you can't ash the summon of the leveled monster, now that you can use Mind Castling now to do exactly the same that Geonator Transverser does, and basically even do it when it's not on the field, which is crazy enough. Means you can't really, what's the word? You can't imperm, you can't effect veiler it. You can't do a lot against Mind Castling. Mind Castling D's no... Anyways, I had to make that joke. It's right there. It's right there. Anyways, yeah, this is a pretty nice FTK. Pretty solid. Yeah. Overall, 10 out of 10. Would FTK again. After this, I do have, I think 2 more thoughts for FTKs. I want to make a Baseball Kid Shadow Priestess of Ohm FTK that goes through both of them. And, I still have the Red Eyes Beals FTK. Yeah, that one's still out there, and I still gotta do that one, so there's that. Anyways, that's about it. That's all I have to say. See you in the next video. Chaotic Sorceress CTC, signing off.